Since you've been gone, since you've been gone, since you've been gone, since you've been gone. I keep patiently waiting. You never let me go. Блин, я свою камеру искал сегодня, чтобы дочку сфоткать. Она оказалась в соловьином месте. I keep patiently waiting since you've been gone. Since you've been gone. Today we had my daughter's show for the little mini peeny tiny little peanuts. They were doing dancing, and it was incredible to see like how child's development is into what stages are, because you can definitely see the blessing of actually a choreography, a working person who's been there for 38 years, and you definitely can see the coordination, the structure, the components that bring everything together, because she had a lot of help. Like, she had a lot of help, especially with the people that she trained on. They were able to help her with choreography, so the kids actually seeing what is happening and they can remember, instead of like it's built up on consistency. And um, yeah, it was very cool. It was very cool too, even to see like somebody that you don't even know. And in that fact, that was like, I should have been sleeping. I should have been sleeping um, after I got there and my daughter was done. I should have went home, but I was definitely enjoying the hard work that they put in. So I was kind of in the moment okay with it, because I know right now, this is the time. This is the work in progress. I guess we're gonna be doing the best thing, and it's to do what we do. It's just clean. apart from the little ones, that definitely enjoyment to do this before work, but what the fatherhood, I guess, is right now. So. We're gonna wash the floor too. I haven't seen him a Mickey Mouse yet in a while, but I actually work for the 12 hours of night shift, so they wake up in the middle of the night and they definitely start doing their own thing. I forgot how I was doing the, hey, let's just put this thing right in the middle of it, and like I woke up and I stepped in there and I thought I'd literally die because it was like unexpected turbulence. But 24 more hours of work and I'll be having 3 days off. I guess that time is gonna be where I'm gonna be able to see my little ones, because I gotta work for 2 more days. Two, I should say 2 more nights. So God bless you. The show definitely made me realize that I'm kind of sad that Matthew wasn't there, because he would have been the only boy and he would have actually shown the encouragement that boys can dance to. But then again, I don't think he wanted to do the monkey dance because he thought he was big enough not to do it. But the costume show is actually never ask you, do you want to be this or that? They actually put you the role that you're best at. And yeah, so you realize that I was I played few roles, and those roles definitely you don't understand the structure of the team until you start seeing the whole thing. And I'm thankful that God is working in mysterious ways. I'm thankful that God is showing me the missing pieces that my life was missing, and um, trying to understand that. I guess peace and quiet right now is the one thing we don't get usually, because if we came from Ukraine where the bombs are exploding, and um, I mean there are many other places that bombs exploding, but just the fact that today was a good day because the Lord is giving us this time to be here right now, and you are grateful for you get and you don't. So you're definitely in a process of building yourself up to something greater than yourself, because um, at the end we realize that it's either we are on one side or the other one. And definitely you can see in people's eyes if they're on the same page. Like I've been working a lot, and I should say that I didn't work enough on myself and the things that are in everyday's temptations, and the temptations of saying no, because um, there's a lot of times where we try to be afraid of the consequences of saying yes, or actually saying no because they're gonna think that you're not one of them. And by that I mean, um, we had an incident yesterday at work where the employee fell, and but he didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt in a way that could have been really bad. So, but he shouldn't have been there, and he was just trying to talk to somebody, has to have a good time. And I think about this when we're trying to have a good time every day. Maybe somebody's not having a good time because you're leading somebody into something that is not you because um, right now you're understanding that there's going to be days where there's all you can do is trust in God and have your priorities straight because those priorities will keep the balance in place. And um, the Lord put in my heart to tell you a testimony in my life that um, even those people who hurt you the most, when you were at that time when they build that trust, build the connection, there was some great moments that you can be thankful for to the Lord and say, Jesus, thank you for this day, or thank you for the blessings that you give in my life. And you understand that God been through it in my life for the whole time because um, there's been moments when you realize that you're not okay because you're trying to deal with trying to understand what did I do in my life or like I had a question. I'm sure my mom is going to be watching this ever, but um, she bought me a PlayStation, and never, don't, I didn't chose the PlayStation, but I'm always wondering why did she chose the PlayStation? Because right now, like there are two types of people. There are PlayStation guys, there's Xbox guys. Well, there's now like Nintendo and stuff, but before it was like it was a PlayStation or a Nintendo or Game Boy or whatever. But for my kiddos, I'd probably start with like a Tetris and like I feel like I kind of want to give them the little things in life that were very special before. Like even bringing a duck home. I didn't I didn't really have animals when I was younger, but we could have and we should have, but never know. I mean, there was some time I think there was a fish or some because I was fishing, but um, even the abusing like stepfather who I had brought me to like learn me how to fish. So I don't. I actually haven't went fishing with my son, and I think that's the point that I'm trying to make to my life that I don't want to teach him something that will just remind me of his father because I grew up in an abusive home, and to give to my son something different than understanding that there are patterns that you gotta break. And I mean, today, my wife and my mom met, and it was it was like the 3 day peace zone where you meet in the middle and you meet for better for your grandchildren and for your children. And sometimes in life, like you read through history where the Germans had some sort of fallback, and they're the ones who welcome me, um, who they welcome me on their land because um, we were refugees. We were refuging from a country that was getting destroyed, and now you understand that even the nursing home that we had our first son was actually bombed not long ago. And I mean, they're suffering in this world because of humanity, and those humans are not even they're animals. Like you trying to understand, like I'm not trying to bring down anybody, but if you're here to destroy, to put somebody down, I've put people down in my life and the closest ones. It's you don't realize like sometimes you do it because you were taught to do something to get something um to the point, but this point is it doesn't bring anything good. Especially now you understand that there are powers that we don't realize. Like there are spiritual powers, there's demonic powers, um, and those are against my flesh. They're not against. They're against my soul, but they can. If you're submit to flesh, you are given up. And in my life, there was some very serious incidents where there was a choice between good and bad, and I've I can say I've chose for the last few times good, and um, the the return to the breaking patterns, and it's incredible. It's you understand that I could be right now like soaking my anger in a towel and saying, "Oh, I'm so miserable," but I had a life of miserable before I understand that actually everything is works good for those who love God and live to His purpose, and try to understand that you actually in the place where God wants you to be. It's incredible because um, God has a plan for your life and for my life, and in this time when you understand that there's so much pain in this world and it actually is through social media. Like i've I've messed up so much in the online thing things that if you put your phone down and try to understand that, I mean, God's been there the whole time, and all you have to do is turn to Him. It's incredible to think that um, if God has a purpose for your life and you're following that footsteps, you will have an incredible life, because the incredible life of pain and suffering that Jesus did on the cross will never compare to anything that I dealt with. Like, I mean, I fell through few floors and I had few bruises and some broke couple girls' hearts, but I mean, trying to understand that this is the time that actually is matter. Like, the life is too short to not only be miserable, but to trying to make other people miserable. I always, I always try to understand why this and that, but if you understand the whole puzzle, and you have to understand that if you stay in that mind where you have your eyes focused on Jesus, you understand that nothing can break you. Because the things that I went through, I mean, people going through a lot, and but trying to understand that I've been too soft to myself, trying to understand that there people can hurt you and you can be hurt by that all day long. But if you just move on from the point of realization that they're hurt because they've been hurt, and they try to get that energy back, um, and when you don't give them that energy back, you understand that, oh, it mind shifts as to what just happened. Like, why why I don't see the same level of energy back, because in all reality, what we reap, what we saw, we reap, right? Or it's the other way around. But что посеешь, то пожнешь. No, sometimes you understand that I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed over the fact that I can
I can contemplate on the things that he's done for my life, and you're trying to understand that there's so many things that have been could have been wrong, and there's I could write a book about how I was abused and like neglected, and but then trying to understand that if I didn't if I didn't see what's okay, I couldn't give to that person that understand that you're there for a reason. You're there because God put you in there. And I remember the place that is actually getting bombed. Um, the place that's getting bombed in Ukraine. I was there on the train ride, and I've met with a family that was only my step grandma, and like nobody else was there. And you looked around this room of full of people, and um you don't see yourself there. Like you're like, who are they? Or like, but in that moment, I realized that, or actually, I not realized, but in that moment, she brought me to a place that I shouldn't have been. There were nobody to me, and still they forgive me. They forgive me for trying to light up their bathroom or like trying to do whatever I did, whatever. But just the fact that, man, I should have been already dead long way ago. Like, and now there's so much, there's so much mercy surrounding your life, and so much. Um, I don't use curse words, buddy. I don't. The most curse I used was I probably say shoot, but then again, I have other thoughts surrounding when the devil tries to to lead into s- that stand of anger. And so you're if you're following people who are saying like curse, and it was hard for me. I used to work in the caregiving business, and he was a good guy, like great friend, but he would curse, and he'd call himself building himself up to the level of that where he grew up. And it was kind of building in my mind. And if something would happen that I wasn't pleased or happy, and it would like come out right into my thoughts, but I couldn't say it because I'm not the guy who curses. But it built up in my back of my mind like movies. And like you want to watch a good movie, and it's kind of funny, and then somebody says F word or drop the D word, and you're like you don't need to smoke a cigarette to make this scene more dramatic. Like you don't need to start smoking weed because you think that you're gonna be drawing arts in the Picasso studio. Or you don't need to do crack cocaine because you want to have your beautiful teeth restored. You just choose the pattern that you can say that your life was bad, but you're making bad decisions, and it doesn't brings up anything good. And if pineapple belongs to pizza, then the bacon is definitely near, because I don't know, potatoes with bacon are great. Talking about that, I'm gonna start cooking because I gotta go to work. But God bless you. Thank you for staying with me. Life of a testimony of a broken man, angry man can be very difficult, very different from the perspective of a child who's been um, through a stable home. And the moment that you realize that um, you need a father, you need a mother, and also you need the grandma and grandpa because they take they take those time um, to get what they lost in life, to be um, all that busy and all that busy in life trying to rush through things and go to work and make all that money, and then here you're at the end of your life. um, there's nothing greater than to see your grandchildren or children be happy in this world of pain and suffering. So there's definitely enjoyment where um, now you can see that your children can go to art museum or um, something that I didn't go to because I thought it was gay or it was inappropriate. Because right now you look at the things that are going in the world and you're like, that is so messed up. I want to take my kids into like a glance of cup and just protect them, but you try to understand that eventually it will get to them because if you don't try to bring the good into your kids, the bad will consume right away. Because um, in my life, I spent a lot of time living in the city and in the streets, and the streets taught me that there's no mercy. Unforgiveness is a lot of corruption, and also there is so much suffering in where the edges are thrown. Like I remember I stopped going hang out um with my people from the garage, and at one point I was sitting in my room and I was rocking my chair, and a rock flew like a big bulldozer flew so across the room and um, hit the wall. And I mean, I was swinging like this. So when I was swinging, like if I would have just stayed back for just a tiny second, I would have caught a bulldozer in my face, and I would have probably bled to death. And they like thought it was funny and ran out. But I looked through the window and I saw one of the kids who took my bike. I had a BMX bicycle, and I was of course blackmailed by somebody ended up punching me in the face and taking it away from me. And it was by like a really good friend of mine, so I didn't understand it, but I actually didn't even try to get it back until the point where one of the kids that I hang out with, I saw him with a bike and I said, "Whoa, that looks exactly the bike that I used to have." And he's like, "Yeah, I think I think you're just seeing doubles, you know. You miss your bike too much." But he painted over, and I mean, I got good punch in the face. Like I turned around, I got called my name, and I turned around. And he like threw a punch at me, and I was on the floor, and he like gets his bike, gets my bike, and takes it away like it was his. And yeah, trying to understand that where where I worked, and I saw all this abusive language, and you try to understand that there only can be life or death through the mouth, and you choose to either speak life or you choose to speak death. You can curse somebody, you can bless somebody. And today I hope you're blessed by just understanding that we can bring life or death through our mouth, um, through the words that we say, to the kindness that we give. So today somebody said not a nice word. I think you should give back something nice and not expect anything good in return, because only God is good, and it will show the time where you'll be ready to face those times that were not good and you were hurt, and maybe it made you stronger in the way that you understand the things in life that you get are the things that God gives you to bring you somewhere else, somewhere better. So it was it was encouragement to try and understand that the Lord is giving you those days of build up your your manhood, your the greatness of a man is not to conquer the world, is to be a rock in the foundation through through a self build up of self reflect and um, trying to understand that, man, like there were people in life that that conquer the world, and yeah, they got their own wives, got their, well, not their own wives, but their own mirrors of thinking of who they marry or who they are with are uncomparable to the things that you are facing through everyday challenges through don't talk back like yesterday. um of course, again at work, um there was there was me pulling the paper. I was pulling the paper so hard. It was very hot, and it was like 3 in the morning, so everything was definitely getting tense. And you try to understand that a man, like, people on the edge are very close minded. They don't see the 3D picture. They don't see the not only pineapple belongs on pizza, but the whole dough was brought up to the point of we build ourselves from the things that we see around or the people that talk to us. And if we're not getting built up, then we're getting put down. And in the theory of a good home, of a good intellectual support, you can see that there's been missing pieces through how I see how family works. Because if I'm strict in my diet and I give my kids some garbage, then I don't love neither myself because they're mine, neither them because they're not taken care of. And I'm grateful that even through we make mistakes, God still shows us that there's mercy for tomorrow. There's goodness and kindness in tomorrow's unexpected things that will happen. Like people still have to shut their mouth and deal with broken people, but sometimes you try to understand that God only gives you those people because you understand that you either bring him up or you bring him down. You can build somebody up or you can drag him down with yourself. Oh, I'm gonna have some radishes for my lunch. Radishes are good for you, right?
we're gonna eat the leftovers from what we have. Um, Also, with the testimony that I wanted to tell in the book that I'm about to write is that when you're when you're going through life and when you have those moments where you can just say, "Oh, screw it! Like I don't wanna do it." Just do it. Do it because nobody else is doing it, and also it's hard. So nobody else will do it unless they tell you that it's hard because they tried and they failed. But God bless you guys. I hope you stay